What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 140 of the Rise to Glory here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I have for you guys a live commentary doubleheader against FC Copenhagen here in the Champions League group stage, and of course our Group G. First and foremost, we're going to be taking them on away from home before a return leg to play at the Space Park. And really, after what was a somewhat disappointing end to last episode, we need to bounce back. If you missed that last episode, go check it out. Since then, we played one game. We won that one game 6-0, of course. That Everton 3-3 draw still fresh in our mind. You'll notice it's been 3 weeks since that game against Everton, just due to the way the fixtures have worked out, an international break and such. We've had a long time to recoup since that Everton game. Our players have gone home. They've reflected on the fact that we completely bottled it, and hopefully we can bounce back today. In terms of team news, there's not too much going on. It's good to see Gilvan back to full fitness, and he will be playing today, which is really good for the Brazilian. He's now spent 3 years in the nation of Gibraltar, and I'm hoping that, in another 2 years, he may even play for the national team. But with that one player coming back from injury, we have an even worse injury that's happened to us. And actually, I feel like we've been really unfortunate with injuries over the last few years, particularly long-term injuries. And Junior, our first choice right winger, broke his leg. Now, last year, Mini Mosca broke his leg. There's been so many injuries over the last few years. I feel like we've been really unfortunate. Unfortunately for us, Junior, who really is our out-and-out right winger, out for 5 to 6 months. That is potentially his season all but over, you'd think. Where does that leave us? Well, we're kind of in a bit of a sticky situation when it comes to our right midfielder position, because although I signed some decent backup right midfielders, none of them are really up to scratch. We have Guendouzi, who can play on the right-hand side of midfield and probably will have to play there for us as a bit of a winger, but he isn't what you'd consider your out-and-out winger, but he is certainly a very talented player. The other player could potentially come in is Jose Maria, who I have now started training to place right attacking mid. As you can see, only right now he's only kind of competent in it. So we're training him to play right wing. Hopefully he can come in and potentially be the replacement for Junior. But nowhere near the same calibre of player, and it really is like a massive, massive setback, it's fair to say. We also have Volsky, who cannot play right mid, but he can't play right wing. So I don't really want to train him as a right attacking mid because I just don't see that as a role for him. But, we have got that option there potentially if we need it. Anyway, let's get straight into this first game against FC Copenhagen. In terms of the team, Guendouzi comes in out on the right-hand side, which is obviously the natural change with Junior being out. He's not a natural right midfielder, but he's a very good player, and he's been very good this year. We also bring in Gilvan for a bit of an appearance. He's going to be playing centre defensive mid for us today. Definitely not the best defensive mid in the world, but he's such a good kind of little playmaker. Very good going forward as well. I want to play him today. I feel like against FC Copenhagen, we really should be doing well. I don't feel like we need to worry too much about ourselves defensively. And really, it's going to be about just getting players like Gilvan a little bit of game time, having been out for a little while, and hopefully get their fitness back whilst winning this game fairly comfortably. Anyway, in terms of FC Copenhagen, of course, they're a very big side, a well-known side as well. But they don't have the greatest team in the world. If we just look at them, of course, the Danish team, you can see they've got Boubacar Traoré, who is their best player. He is a Malian player. He's a good player, but he's no better than some of our worst players, really. And I expect us to win this game fairly comfortably. Either way, let's get into the game. Let's have some fun. We're away from home. I really don't want to bottle this like we did against Everton. I'm looking for us to win really comfortably. Things really can start to go in our favour this episode, There is going to be a double header of Everton v Porto. And really, I'm hoping that both teams draw against each other twice, or one team wins one game and one team wins the other, so the points are just distributed evenly. But no, it's a good situation to be in. And, we have a chance here. And, 45 seconds gone, Mosca scores. I mean, that is the way to bounce back. As I said, this episode, it's an opportunity, really, these two games to pull away at the top of the group stage. And yes, we will have perhaps a few, I don't want to say easier games coming up, but certainly, sorry, not easier. I don't want to say harder games, but more challenging games. I feel like these two games against FC Copenhagen are really a good opportunity to propel ourselves to the top of the group stage and really put us in a great position with 2 games left. Anyway, we make a good block there. That was a chance at FC Copenhagen. We can't get too carried away here. A goal after 45 seconds is great, but that work can very quickly be undone. And actually, they have a chance here. Young, though. Nice save by him, the Swede. Of course, in familiar territory in some ways, going to Denmark, the Swedish international. From a similar part of the world, I guess you could say. And actually, we're on the attack here. Sebastian Gerrard tackle, but Bouchard and Mosca scores again. It's 3 minutes gone. It's 2-0. And, from a chance for FC Copenhagen at one end, we have countered away Disappointing defensively, you'd say, by FC Copenhagen. A big mix-up there, but Joe Bouchard beautifully weighted through ball. Mosca, little poke really to get it around the keeper first time. It's 2-0 and Mosca on course for a hat-trick already. Could he get it after 5 minutes? He's on the attack. Bouchard up to Smith. Can he cross in the ball? He doesn't need to. He hits the woodwork. Rebound. Not going to go goalwards. And actually, Altovic, for the first time in the game, actually getting his hands on the ball and stopping it. And, FC Copenhagen, they're on the back foot. Porto beating Everton in that other game. And, so far, so good, I guess you could say. That said, a 2-goal margin we showed last episode, that's not enough. You need to be a lot more goals ahead. 3 or 4 really to feel comfortable with our kind of bottle. But hopefully we can, maintain this performance. FC Copenhagen, not of the same calibre as Everton, I think it's fair to say. And, we are on the attack here. Mosca crosses the ball in. Girard puts it wide. Really should have hit the target there. That was a chance to make it 3-0 and really be comfortable in this game. Desperately hoping, really, that Mosca gets his hat-trick this game. 2 goals after 3 minutes. He's in a pretty good situation to try and do that, but we do still need to defend. Gaiganov, though, nice tackle there. Now, Mosca on his own up top. Smith out on the left. Can't pick him out, but Cabasele recovers the ball. Of course, Cabasele been out injured at the start of the year. Good to see him back in the side, too. And match fit. And now we have the ball. Girard, Mosca, can he get his hat-trick? Yes, he can. It's a 25-minute hat-trick for Mosca. It's 3-0 here, and it's been a dominant display, I think it's fair to say. FC Copenhagen, 1 shot on goal all game. It came in the first 3 minutes of the game. Since then, it's been all us. Possession's been 50-50. When we've come forward, we've looked very good, and Mosca has just been deadly in front of goal. That is his hat-trick. Maybe he could get a double hat-trick. That is, I don't want to get too carried away yet, but that is something that's definitely on my mind. It's Gaiganov now out on the right, whips it in. Paul Smith not there. Cleared away by Traore, but only as far as Mustafa, and now Gilvan. Good to see him, of course, back in the team. And, that's an own goal, I think. Gaiganov whipped in the ball. It's hit Larson, the defender. And after 28 minutes, it's 4-0. And this could be doing that goal difference a world of good. Of course, in the Champions League, goal difference doesn't actually mean that much because it's all done on head-to-head. It's a questionable goal. Questionable goalkeeping. Questionable defending all round, I think it's fair to say there. It's 4-0. And it's comfortable, isn't it? This is the performance we really wanted to see, of course. This is away from home, but potentially at the Space Park we could do one better. That would be the dream, to beat them 10-0. Of course, I don't really see that happening too likely. Is likely a word? It is now. I've invented it. But, no, we're looking good here. This is like watching a game of us playing in Gibraltar, really. But, it's great to see players like Gilvan back. As I said, I feel like we have been unfortunate with injuries. Of course, that junior injury, a massive one for us. Gilvan been out for a while, and I don't know, I feel like Gilvan could be a really key player for us. I think there's a few players in our team who really are close to being eligible to play for Gibraltar. There's only a few years left, one of which is Mosca. Now, if Brazil don't call up Mosca, I don't know what they're doing, if I'm honest. Like, what are they doing? Who is the Brazil manager? I know we're not the highest rep league in the world, but Mosca should be in the Brazil squad. I think he's only made 2 youth appearances, but if he was to declare for Gibraltar, that would be, absolutely insane. That would be it would be ridiculous, and he'd be declaring in his early 20s still. Girard has a chance here. He makes it 5. It's not even half time yet. It's been easy. But no, Mosca's one player. Gilvan's another. Graffite or Graphite, the left back, is eligible soon, as is Graf Right. So there is a real kind of opportunity that somebody is going to be this surge of Brazilians representing Gibraltar, which should be interesting. But I'm almost contemplating turning off the 3D highlights here for the replays, because it's just getting a little bit silly at this point, isn't it? It's 5-0 at half-time. We couldn't ask for a better performance. Porto are 2-0 up against Everton away from home. In some ways, actually, Porto beating Everton twice would be the best result for us, I think. Yeah, it would be. Porto beating Everton twice would still be decent results. The one thing we don't really want is Everton to win twice. Although I guess it doesn't really matter. I talk about all these ifs and buts in the Champions League group stage. I feel like it's very easy to get wrapped up in kind of the maths behind it, or, what results you need to go your way. I feel like the best solution, really, is just to win as many games as you can and see where you lie, rather than me, like I am now, trying to calculate it with less than half the matches having been played. But I don't know. I feel like that's a trap you can fall into, kind of, focusing too much on other teams when you need to concentrate yourself. I feel like perhaps this is an exception to the rule, though, as Mosca gets his 4th of the game. Guendouzi with the ball in. He's looking adequate out on the right for us, Guendouzi. It's 6-0. It's 50 minutes gone. I don't know if this was an overhead kick. It looked like Mosca was running away from goal, but in FM there is the weird habit of heading it backwards. Oh, okay. He's backpedalled exceptionally there and somehow managed to get the power on it. I won't question it. It's a good goal. 6-0 away from home. This is a great performance. I don't recall... Have we played FC Copenhagen? I have a weird feeling they were like one of the teams we first played like very, very, very early on in the series. Like maybe in like the first 2 or 3 years in Europe to qualify. And I feel like they hammered us 6-0. So I feel like this is a bit of revenge. If they aren't that team and it's mistaken identity, I mean, I can only apologise. I mean, Guendouzi, you didn't mean that, son. But you're going to claim it, aren't you? I mean, what a goal that is by the striker playing out on the right wing. Maybe he is like... He's like Glenn Gilbert. He doesn't need good crossing. I mean, it's an incredible... I'm going to claim he meant it. It was that good. He meant it. It was a bit like Ronaldinho against England in the 2002 World Cup. That goal still hurts me inside. That goal... I mean, all the memories are coming back now of my... How old would I have been then? I would have been like 10? I would have been 9. The fact that I remember that goal and it's emotionally scarred me says a lot. I feel like I need to go and have a lie down after this match. All the memories are coming back. Can we get 10? That's got to be the aim at this point. There's 18 minutes left. We need 3 goals. Bouchard, though, he has an idea. He wants it. Mosca, I mean, he almost scored his 5th. Almost scored his 5th. Maybe, can we make some tactical changes? There's a few players a bit tired. Sebastian Girard is looking a bit exhausted. Let's bring on Rildo, because Rildo, the striker's been complaining about lack of first-team football. Let's give him a run out. I think we'll also take off Gilvan just because he's coming back from injury, and we'll bring in Volsky. And with our last change, we'll bring in Jose Maria for Paul Smith, just to get some fresh legs on again for the last 18 minutes. Ball whipped in from the corner. Can we score? Sad. It's cleared away. It's another corner. I feel sorry for FC Copenhagen. I almost feel bad. I don't want to say. I was about to say, I don't know how they've got to this stage in the competition. But that seems like a really cruel thing to say about a team that's earned their way to the Champions League group stage. But at the same time, I was looking at a team, I was surprised they got there, and they've not really sprung too many surprises today. I felt like after having seen their result against Everton, you know, the fact they scored 2 against Everton and given Everton a game, I was perhaps a little bit nervous, but I don't know what team they were playing, because it certainly isn't kind of the team they're playing against us today, or if it is, it's certainly not the same performance. But no, this has been kind of a masterclass. This is what I wanted to see in this game. After that Everton game, you know, being 3-1 up with, 20 minutes left and just to bottle it, like there was a real risk that we could collapse and that there would be a massive kind of, I don't know, a massive breakdown in the team. But I feel like the fact we had a 3-week break benefited us. Mosca scores his 5th. I don't know what the keeper's done there. Jose Maria, the sub with the shot. I almost look forward to seeing this one in 3D because I'm not sure what I've witnessed. Jose Maria, he's the new man on the block, of course, for £7 million. He's looking like we're going to be glad that we spent the money on him, really, because, of course, Junior's injury means that he is going to play a fair bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the keeper's done there. Genuinely, no idea. Let's go on overload for the last minute. Mosca wants his double hat-trick. Can he get it? That's the dream. Guendouzi has picked up a 5 strain. I mean, that is not what I want to know or want to hear about. He's not actually on the pitch at the moment, I don't think. No, he's not. Okay, so he's gone off. That's fine. Hopefully that's not a serious injury, because I don't want any more injuries, really. Volsky, can we get it to Mosca for the double hat-trick? It's not happening, is it? It's not happening. 10 seconds left. The dream's dead. Mosca going to have to settle for 5. It's been a rampant display here. 8-0. 8-0. It's been easy, I think, is the best word for it. Mosca, 5 goals, 2 assists. Not a bad performance there, I think it's fair to say. Hopefully that injury isn't a long-term one, though. That's the new concern now, isn't it? Guendouzi's out for 2 weeks. I mean, I think that's only going to be the Copenhagen game he potentially misses, so I'm not too worried about that. We're giving, obviously, some money for winning. Mosca takes the plaudits. He got a 10.0 rating. What a player. What a man. 6 goals in the 2 games in the Champions League for him. Of course, missed the start of the year through injury. We have got a little bit of a break, actually, you can see, until the Copenhagen game. I don't think Guendouzi is going to be back. He might be. Either way, we're going to skip through those games in between. I'll see you guys for the second game against Copenhagen. And hopefully we can, well, put ourselves in a really great position going into the last live com of the Champions League group stage next episode. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in just a second for the second game against Copenhagen. Okay guys, so you rejoin me here, sorting out my team for the second game against Copenhagen here today. We played 3 games actually, I'll quickly cover these. They were all in the league, some really good results here. We beat College Europa 9-0. Girard getting a goal, Yuri with 2, Mosca with 4, and Paul Smith with 2. Yuri, of course, just a reminder, the player on loan from PSG. I kind of brought him in to be a backup of all backups in the right midfielder position, but of course with Junior's injury, it's kind of a good job we got him in. He's not the craziest player in the world, but he is a very capable right mid, and he's shown, certainly in the league, he will be kind of up to the task of kind of playing in the right midfielder position when we need him to. The other 2 results, 2 good away results away from home. We beat Gibraltar Lions 2-0. This was a really weird game. You can see Paul Smith scored in the 70th minute to give us a precarious lead. They then got a penalty in the 85th minute, which they missed, and Cabasele, the left-back, went up the other end 2 minutes later and grabbed us another goal, which saw us win that game 2-0. So that was a tight game, really, that penalty miss really defining it. But we did come away with all 3 points, and in our last game we took on 10th place Cannons, and we won 6-0 with Rildo getting 3, Paul Smith getting 2, and I think off the back of this result and this performance, I'm going to be giving Rildo another chance in the first team here today. A player who's complained a little bit about a lack of first team football. The backup Brazilian striker, really that, exactly. He's a backup player. He's a player I signed for £8 million last year, and he's a good backup to have, certainly, but I don't see him as kind of one of my best 3, particularly with Girard, Walduz, and of course Mosca. It's difficult to see, Valid Guandu's being ousted for him, Mosca being ousted for him, but at the same time, the 24-year-old Brazilian, a good player to have in our team, and I want to keep him happy, and well, that's what we are going to try and do here. Anyway, in terms of where that leaves us in the Primera Division at this early stage, you can see Gibraltar Lions in 2nd, Lynx in 3rd, and College Europa in 4th. Down at the bottom, Cannons, 5 games played, 5 without a win, 4 2-0 defeats, and then of course that 6-0 defeat to us in their most recent game. So far so good, so far as we're concerned. Just worth noting, Svoboda is the top goal scorer for Gibraltar Lions. He currently has 8 goals in 5 games, so a good little return for the Czech international. And Lynx FC actually have Pedrero here, who is a Spanish striker who's been doing well for them. I talked a little bit about College Europa and, of course, Gibraltar Lions' ability to attract players from abroad. It's good to see teams like Lynx, whilst not, signing the craziest players in the world, being capable of attracting players from Spain like this guy, who are, definitely improvements on the Gibraltarian talent currently in the league. It's worth noting, however, he's on £35,000 because, of course, with all these teams having so much money, they don't really know what to do with it when it comes to the wages. And you can see some players on crazily hefty wages here, like Joe Harvey here, who is on, well, £17,000 a week. I mean, if I was a footballer anywhere in the world kind of playing at a semi-pro level, I feel like if this situation emerged in real life, I'd be getting on the next plane to Gibraltar. And just a similar situation here with Lincoln Red Imps. You can see they have the Scottish player here, Kieran Gillian, who they've got on £31,000 a week. And whilst he's not a bad player, this Scot, I don't think he's that good. As you can see, they signed him on a free, having him been I can't talk. He left air. That's what I'm trying to say. He left the Champions League, the Scottish Championship side. The 31-year-old, and well, you can see a Lincoln Red Imps picked him up. My word, English is hard. Anyway, just a little bit of news. Obviously, was it last episode or the episode before? I think it was the episode before last. I talked about the new young signings we've made in the team. A lot of them have now turned 18. Some of them showing some real promise to the stage where I kind of want to talk about them a little bit. Jeremy Van Berlo, perhaps the most talented players of the ones we signed. Not a crazy improvement by him yet, but the 16-year-old. He's got his birthday coming up. He's looked very good kind of playing the reserves team. Ingvartsen is a player who we signed last year, the Dutch player. And he's doing very, very well for us. Not Dutch, sorry, Danish. And he's doing very, very good for us, the Dane. He's just developing a lot, which is really pleasing to see. This is his 2nd year, I do believe, at the club. And he's developed a lot already. We also have Karansi, the American. Does he have Canadian nationality as well? Does he? He does have. Okay, that's my excuse. He also has Canadian nationality. But a very good player. Not developed perhaps as much as I'd like, the 19-year-old, but still doing an okay job for us. We have Mitchell Roast, who's probably been the player who's developed the most since he joined the team. He's looking like a really good player, the 17-year-old right winger. Definitely room to improve, but he's already shown a large degree of improvement, which is really pleasing to see. We also have here Boakhorst, the centre-back, perhaps not shown too much in the silent developments, but still kind of going along okay. Dene Boom's improved a lot. He's currently being tutored. His determination is going up rapidly, which is really good. It's increased by 3 already since he joined the club, so that tutoring going well for him. And Vernon Anese, the Italian goalkeeper, touted to be the next Donnarumma. Is that how you say the guy? I think that's how you say his name. Donnarumma. Answers on a postcard. I really should know how to say Donnarumma's name. That is how you say his name. If it's not, I apologise, Gianluigi. But this guy touted to be the next him. And so obviously big pressure on him. We've managed to get him tutored all the way up to 20 determination. I mean, this is when tutoring goes right. Of course, Felix Oliveira, the player who has been who's been tutoring him with 20 determination of his own, and it's just great to see that rubbing off on such a young player to get 20 determination at this early stage, and hopefully that will just aid his development now. Anyway, that's a little bit of kind of a mini update, I guess, on the reserve team. Lots of improvement there. In terms of the team for today's game, it kind of picks itself in a lot of ways with the injury to Junior out wide on the right, with how dominant we were against Copenhagen in the previous game. Going into this game against the Danish side, we're going to go with the narrow 4-3-1-2. As I mentioned, Rildo going to get a chance to play. Guendouzi, of course, got that thigh strain at the end of the last game against Copenhagen. He's barreled back and got back fit almost from injuries. Injuries completely subsided, but his match sharpness and overall condition just letting him down a tiny bit. Either way, let's get into today's game. Hopefully Moscow can get another 5. That's got to be the aim. Of course, at home, we want to give the home fans something to cheer about. Whether or not we can beat the Danish Giants again, 8-0, I mean, that seems pretty unlikely. But I don't know. If we can put in half the performance we put in last time, it's definitely a possibility. And, we've got a little bit of a different approach to today's game, getting a few more strikers on, playing that narrower system. Hopefully it will punch more holes through the Copenhagen defence, but we will see how that kind of develops as this game goes on. But no, looking good at the moment, and Rildo with a nice interception there, 39 seconds gone. Well, we were 1-0 up at this point last game. Could we be 1-0 up again at a similar point in the game this time? Moscow gets the ball out wide. Can he whip in a ball into the box? There's options. Gaiganov, Rildo's there. And well, he's mentioned the fact he'd been impressing me in some of our league games we played him in. He's made a great start to the game there, Rildo. Little header. I think it was Gaiganov with the assist. Moscow holding the ball out well and then kind of laying it off in the wide position. Gaiganov, good ball into the box. It's just a lovely little textbook goal. A lovely glancing header right into the top corner. Keeper really didn't stand a chance. And, well, we scored within the first minute of the last game against Copenhagen. We've scored within the first minute of this game here today, which is great to see. And, well, at this point we were 2-0 up. I feel like we now have something to compare ourselves to in this game. Volsky wins that. Moscow, can he score? He can score. He's got his first goal of the game. He's going to want a double hat-trick this game. Of course, got 5 last time out, was denied the 6th. He's going to want it today. Whether or not he can get it, I think is going to be a completely different story. But a nice finish there by the Brazilian, just slots it into the bottom left-hand corner. I talked about him nearing eligibility for Gibraltar and how it was 2 years. I was actually mistaken. We're currently in right at the start of November. He, of course, signed for us in a January, and this January that's coming up will mark 4 years of him being in Gibraltar. So he actually has, well, a year and a month really until he gets Gibraltarian nationality. So please don't play for Brazil, Moscow. Don't do it. Don't be a traitor to the Gibraltarian football that has developed you into the player you are. That's all I ask. Either way, he did have a chance there to get his second of the game. He squandered it, and now actually FC Copenhagen, the team on the attack, they didn't get a goal last game. I feel like that's going to be their minimum aim this game. We might even have a chance here, though. High pressure being applied by us, but, well, Copenhagen do get the ball away, but it's given away now. And Girard, big ball over to Rildo. Moscow's down in the middle. Can he get it across? He doesn't need to. He shoots. Keeper does well that time to actually tip it wide. And that was a half chance for us that's just not taken. A little bit disappointing. Definitely the pass on there. But, I mean, if you've played much of Football Manager ever, you'll know that the kind of striker's likelihood of squaring the ball there is pretty darn slim, to say the least. And unfortunately, on this occasion, Rildo elected to go for the shot in a situation where a pass would definitely have been the better option. Either way, we're on the attack here. Moscow, can he get his second of the game? It's saved again by the keeper. And, well, we've not had a load of clear-cut chances this game, but it certainly could be more than the 2 goals it is already. The keeper performing very well. Copenhagen, they've shown a little bit more perhaps promise going forward. They've edged possession. Still yet to have their first shot on target, but they're definitely not rolling over like they did in the last game against us. So that's a little bit disappointing, but of course a win, really the main kind of aim here, of course. I didn't really think 8-0 was likely again, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be likely again here. It's worth knowing that in this game, Bouchard and Paul Smith, both on the bench for us. I just decided to rotate the team a little bit, given how well we played against Copenhagen in the previous tie. You know, not necessarily worth playing all our key players. It's a good opportunity for players like Mini Mosca to come into the side and play, Rildo to play up top. And just, you know, give some players who perhaps don't get to play all that much in the Champions League or will certainly benefit from playing in the Champions League some game time here. Either way, because Kabaseli cuts out that pass, and now we're on the attack. Gilvan spreads it to Gaiganov. Can he get the ball into the box? Volsky, nice little interplay there out wide. Ball in, Mosca scores. And, well, he gets his second goal of the game. He's going to be looking for another hat-trick. A really nicely worked goal there. A little give and go by Gaiganov with Volsky was particularly nice. The little dink by Volsky was a joy to behold there. The centre mid just flicking it over the fullback. Number 3 for Copenhagen. And, well, Gaiganov then able to put the ball on a platter for Mosca. And with 30 minutes left, we can afford to perhaps make some changes. And I will do so after this chance here. Mosca bringing the ball forward. Lays off to Girard, who has pace. Defender gets back well there, but given away immediately to Assad. That cross and clearance just not going anywhere. Now Rildo hits the woodwork. Rebound. Probably should have scored then, Rildo. Disappointing by him. We'll take him off, I think, and bring in Guendouzi just to have a bit of a run out. I think the other change we'll take off Gilvan and bring in JJ for a bit of game time. And we'll save our last sub for now. Just using this game really as an opportunity to perhaps play some players who need a bit of match fitness, haven't played much this year. And, you know, just help balance out a bit of the morale in the camp by giving everyone a bit of game time. Anyway, Mosca for the hat-trick, misses it. He fluffs his lines. He is going to want that hat-trick. And with 25 minutes left, he might not get a better chance than that one. And Copenhagen, they live to fight another day. It's still only 3-0 somehow. Mini Mosca been very involved in the play, I think it's fair to say, the number 34. And he's involved in it again here. Holds it well. Now JJ, Gaiganov. Can he get the ball in? Guendouzi at the back post is looking for it. Mosca might still get there. Hits the woodwork. And, well, that was a real chance suddenly to get that hat-trick again. I said he might not get a better chance. 3 minutes later, he gets another. And it's squandered again. Guendouzi, since he's come on, looked fairly good for us, as is JJ, who comes marauding forward and scores a screamer. It might be given as an own goal. It has been. That seems incredibly cruel. The shot hitting the post and then hitting the goalkeeper on the back. But JJ, lovely little run, just adjusted his pace, feints inside, has the effort, hits the inside of the post, and, well, it's hit the keeper and gone in. Questionable. Questionable, I think, is the best way to describe that goalkeeping there. 4-0. It's not quite the 8 that we got before, but it's still been a good performance. And now Girard with a set piece. He hits the woodwork. We've hit the woodwork 6 times this game. It could have been 8-0 again. As it stands, unfortunately, it looks like it may only be 4. And Mosca might not get his hat-trick this game. It is indeed only going to be 4. Still a good performance. Still a good win. Hopefully the other result in our group went our way and kind of puts us in a really good position going into our last few games of the group stage. Looking at it here, Everton and Porto drawing 1-1. So that's an okay result for us. Copenhagen look like they're destined to finish rock bottom of the group. We have a plus 18 goal difference. That's not too shabby, is it? Either way, next episode we will have our game against Porto. If we win that game, I believe we'll guarantee ourselves top spot in the group. So that may be the only game we do next time, because I don't think that Everton game is going to have too much weight depending on how the game against Porto goes. Either way though, guys, hopefully you did enjoy today's episode. Fairly longer one just because of the natural length of these games with such big margins of victory. Mosca definitely the cream of the crop. The Brazilian has been absolutely superb so far this year. 18 goals in 8 games. Cannot complain about that one little bit. Either way, hopefully next time out we can thrash Porto once more. This time it will be away from home. Hopefully I'll see you guys for that one too. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.